Hello, ladies. How are you doing? Happy Friday, TGIF. So this is Beverly checking in. I want to talk to you a little bit about Slimmer and Sexy You for 2024. So I have a question for you. How are you doing on getting yourself back on track? Doing your New Year's resolution to get healthier, to eat better, to finally tackle that goal of getting back into those little pair of jeans of yours, or perhaps that cute little black dress. How is that going for you? Well, in case you haven't achieved your desired goals, I have something for you. It is Slim and Sexy You 2024. This is a training that I am going to be holding just days away to help you step into the best version of yourself this year with a slimmer, sexy body. How about that? So if we haven't met before, I'm Beverly with Beverly Hills Health and Wellness Coaching. I'm a certified health coach, and I am the founder of the Body and Lifestyle Academy. So I help women to lean into this midlife and claim that they're going to be even better than they were in their past. And that's absolutely possible. You can have a better body, you can have a better mindset, and you can go forth and accomplish those things that are on your to-do list that you haven't found the time to do yet. So I have a couple of points that I wanted to share that I'm going to be covering in this training. It's a 5-day training, starts on January the 22nd at 2 p.m. Runs about an hour and a half every day, goes through that Friday the 26th. So one of the things that I'm going to be talking about is diets. I have probably tried several different diets. I never really have had a need to drop a whole lot of weight, but maybe, hello, Dr. Kim, so glad to have you here today. So as I was saying, like, I haven't been a person that really needed to be on a diet, but I've always had this number in mind that I didn't want to get beyond when I got on the scale. Or there was like some big event coming up and I bought this gorgeous dress and I want to have it fit like a glove. And it's just like, okay, well, I got a little inch here on the side I need to work on, something like that. So I actually have tried different types of diets. And one of the things that I would say that any diet can work for you for a period of time, but the question is it sustainable? Is it sustainable? So one of the things that I have done, and I really like this, is keto. As you go through your shift in hormones, keto can support you by helping you bring down the carb and bring in more healthy fats. And that's the things. There's a lot of fats that are in the keto, and that didn't serve me, but it's understanding how to make that shift, like bringing down the carbs and bringing in the fats. But I'm bringing in the good healthy fats, like avocado over a slab of, I don't know, pork or something. Pork belly. That's what pork belly. I don't know. I had tried a pork belly, and I kept hearing this amazing, you gotta try pork belly, you gotta try pork belly. And I kept trying it in different places. And to me, it was just a lot of fat. It doesn't work for me. It just doesn't work for me. Anyway, healthy fats work for me. So bringing in avocado, bringing in some natural types of food that have good healthy fats. So like if you try like grass-fed butters or ghee, those things work for me. And you don't have to eat a lot of it. It takes a little bit and it's very satiating. So that was my experience with keto. Not something that I could sustain at all. I do know when I did keto, if I did it for a couple of weeks, I definitely saw a change. So I'm not against keto, but I don't feel like it's something that's sustainable as we're going through this shift of our hormones. It's like you have to kind of try things and see how everybody's body's different. That's one of the things that I found out as I've gone through this journey with my hormones shifting. I can't do what a couple other women do. It's like this worked for them. There's a book called Eating for Your Blood Type. And I found that that really helped me because I lean more towards vegetables and fruits for my diets. But I do eat meat. I don't eat heavy meats. But then there's certain people who have a blood type. They can be carnivores. They can eat all the meat possible. So you have to weigh all of these things in. Another thing that I want to talk about as far as diet is like the one size fits all type of diet. And this is the one I'm really going to zero in on when we go through this 5-day intensive training starting next week. You have to understand, as women, when we're going through the hormonal shift, you cannot do what everybody's doing in general on a one size fits all diet. Your testosterone, your estrogen, your progesterone, like they're shifting. And the biggest shift is estrogen. It is taking a nosedive. And you have to find ways to bring in foods, they're called phytoestrogens, that you can actually eat and help bring some balance to that estrogen. But if you're eating one size fit all, honey, you're not going to see the weight drop off. You're not going to see any relief in some of these symptoms. You know, some people talk about the hot flashes and the weight gain and the sleeplessness. You have to eat appropriately to navigate that time. It's really key. Another one is an elimination diet. There's this diet where you can't eat any carbs, no carbs whatsoever. You have to let all the carbs go. Well, to me, that doesn't even make sense. How can you only eat one thing? You look at nature. That's always my teacher. Nature has an abundance of a lot of different things. When it comes to our bodies, we have to be able to bring in all of these different types of minerals and nutrients to supply our bodies with what it needs to fuel us and keep us going. So if you bring one food group totally out of your diet, I really don't see where that's going to serve you big time. And I haven't seen where women have got a lot of results with that as they were going through these like hormonal shifts where they were going on like the perimenopause journey. I don't see that serves you. In addition, there are energy levels that we need to tap into with our carbohydrates. I used to be a runner. I used to run like 10 miles. That's been years ago. But it's like you cannot sustain that much endurance and that length of running without some type of carbohydrates. When I used to run, they used to have these carb packs and you could just down it and keep going and giving you the energy to sustain yourself. So that's where you're going to be able to tap into that energy. So you have to be able to have some carbs. So don't believe that letting all the carbs go. I would say you have to be cognizant of what type of carbs you're going to be having, especially when you're going through this hormonal shift, because some carbs don't serve your body as well as other carbs. So you hear people talk about the white rice. I would definitely say I traveled a lot, lived overseas in Asia for a while, and they had rice with everything. At that point in time in my life, I was much younger, so I could actually eat a whole lot of rice. Now, at this stage, rice is like a dessert treat to me. It's a special occasion because rice will cause your blood sugar to creep up. Stepping away to see, okay, thank you for being here. I really appreciate that. So just know that some carbs are good for you as you're going through this journey and some carbs not so good. One of the ones that I really love, that's a treat for me, is like sweet potatoes. I love sweet potato fries. I like to have baked sweet potatoes, put a little cinnamon on it and some butter. That's my healthy fat. It's very sustaining for me. Another diet is one that's very calorie restrictive. This one I have heard it helps people when they are getting older in life and they want to keep life really simple. And I know it works, but again, the sustainability, how does that factor in? I saw a couple, it was some kind of documentary, and this couple was in there, and they literally had a measuring cup, measuring the amount of liquid that they were drinking for their meal. They had, I don't know, berries or something, and they actually had them on a scale, weighing them to make sure they were in this range. So if I had to do that for every meal, I would rather fast. That's too much. That's too much. I couldn't do all of that. I'm one of these people. It's got to be sustainable, and it cannot be very complex and, overly burdensome. I am an empty nester. I don't spend time in the kitchen unnecessarily. If I can't get it done in 15 minutes, we're going to come up with something else. We just can't. But it's really important to know, as you're moving through the stage of life, what do you need to bring in to help you to feel healthy, to be energetic, to have the vitamins and nutrients that's going to serve you, so you can get a good night's sleep, so you can be the best version of yourself. Because as you're going through this journey, a lot of us can feel overwhelmed. It's like, well, what's happening? I'm getting on the scale and it's going up. My waistline is increasing and I'm not doing anything different. It's all hormonal. And it starts when you hit around 40. That window of time can go 10, 15, 20 years sometimes, depending on how you've taken care of yourself, and also have you listened to your body and made the shift that your body's asking you to, as you realize these disruptions are happening. And that's what happened to me. And that's why it's so important when I'm coaching my clients that I'm able to speak from a level of experience, because I've been there. I was so frustrated when I was going through this hormonal shift. I was like, I don't understand. I'm eating pretty well. I've never really been a bad eater. I love running. And at that point in time, I was still exercising. I was taking all types of aerobic classes. I was just very active. I had sons, so we always had something going on, something that we had to be involved in. And as the only woman in the household, I couldn't be the weakest link. I had to be in there holding my own. I love strength training. I had always worked with a trainer to help me so I wouldn't get injured. Like, all of those things that I was doing has come back full circle to support me. So it's not very difficult for me to share with you firsthand what it's taken for me to get on the other side. I'm postmenopausal, so I'm relatively stable. There are things that can crop up that can cause some disruption, but I know my body. I know what I have to do to make a shift. So one of the things that I would share with you is just come to the class and learn what it is that you have to do differently as you're going through these hormonal shifts. As you're aging, your body is asking for something different. And number one is, how are you nourishing your body? You don't want to look at these extreme diets and try to incorporate that and take that through the rest of your life. There might be points in time you can use some of the aspects of a diet, but it's diet, D-I-E-T. The middle of the word is die. I feel like you will die if you try to maintain that all of your life, but you can bring these in and utilize them for a point in time, and then you can let them go out. But the big picture is to look at where your deficiencies are and eat to bring about more balance, more foods that come from nature. That's the bottom line. Things that come from nature. And this is things that are going to be organic, things that are not filled with toxins, things that's not laden with colors. One of the tips that I learned very, very early on when I was looking at my nutrition and how to eat better is, like, when you're going into the grocery store, shop the perimeter. That's where you will find real food. When you come into the grocery store, usually there's your fruits and vegetables. You move a little further, there's like your meat section. You go a little further, there's like your dairy, your milk. So in the center of the store, you'll find all your packaged foods. This is all of the stuff that's filled with garbage that is causing a hormone disruption for you when you eat it. If you look at a package of cereal, if you look at the package of cereal and the label has so many ingredients you can't even read, skip it. You don't need to eat that, because that's not what your body needs to sustain itself. All these things that you can't read, your body is just going to hold on to it and say, okay, there's nothing that I can utilize in here to keep you healthy. So what I'm going to do to help you out is, you have fat cells. I'm going to take all of the preservatives, all of the chemicals that was in that product that you were consuming. I'm going to stick it in this little fat cell. And I'm just going to hold on to it for you. And I'm just going to stick it right here on your tummy, or I'm going to stick it right here on your hips. That's what happens to it. And then over time it accumulates. And that's where the extra pounds come from on the scale. from the garbage stuff that you're eating that your body cannot process, and it's just holding on to it to try to keep you healthy as possible while you're hopefully trying to find a way to nourish yourself in the process, because you'll eat that and you realize like, oh my God, 20 minutes later, I'm hungry again, because your body didn't find anything that it could use out of that crappy stuff that was in the packet with all the preservatives. Go grab yourself an apple and eat an apple and tell me what happens after you eat an apple. You will be full because it has the fiber in the apple to sustain you and keep you full. Hey chef, how you doing? I bet you could join this conversation. We have a chef on the group with us, and I actually have been following him a while. He's got some amazing recipes that he shares and phenomenal at what he does. So thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. So with that, ladies, I'm going to close out again and invite you, and gentlemen, invite you to come join me for the Slimmer Sexy You kickoff, which starts on January the 22nd, just days away. Starts at 2:00 p.m. and will run about an hour and a half for 5 days. So every day we'll talk about a different topic, and one of the major ones is diet. So I just gave you some insight on the diet. We're going to go deep talking about diet and what your body needs as you're going through these hormonal shifts. So again, thank you for being here. I'm Beverly with Beverly Hills Health and Wellness Coaching. I will provide a link. I think it's going to be in the bio if you're on Instagram, or if you're on Facebook and you're seeing it, it should be in the comments so you can register. So I encourage you to do so. And in the background, there's my little Jazz. Hey Jazz. Jazz. She's not paying attention. Jazz. There she is. We got a snowy day, so she's hanging out with me while I'm doing a video. So you got a treat. So again, thank you for being here, everyone. I will talk to you again later, and I look forward to seeing your registration come through. Okay? Take care. Thanks for being here. Bye now.